Hello everybody, Don't Blink here again with another Battlefield 3 gameplay commentary for you guys, and today I've got a round of Rush Attack on Operation Firestorm that I wanted to share with you all. I'm using the Engineer kit today with the G36C, equipped with a red dot sight, foregrip, and suppressor, and this is pre-patch footage, for those of you who may be wondering. And the reason why I wanted to post it is, number one, this was a very close match, and number two, I wanted to talk about suppression, and I felt like there was no better way to talk about it than to show you what suppression was prior to the most recent Battlefield 3 patch. So, you'll notice throughout the course of this match that my screen is rarely blurry from suppression, and I'm actually able to, move around in a rather aggressive way and be effective in gunfights. That has completely changed with the most recent patch. Now, using the playstyle that I employed in this video would get you killed 9 times out of 10, if you ask me. And when the patch first came out, I didn't have a problem with the suppression in the game. Mostly because, I just hadn't played the patch enough. I didn't really like or dislike the suppression when the patch first came out. But I will tell you this, I saw absolutely no reason as to why they changed it in the first place. I felt like suppression was fine prior to the patch. It was noticeable when you were suppressed. Yes, there was blurring, minor blurring, and yes, it did affect your aim to a certain extent, but it didn't completely ruin your capacity to win a gunfight. If you were able to compensate for recoil, and if you were within a reasonable range in order to counteract spread, you could still win gunfights. And I feel like that was a good balance, because I feel like people with superior gun skill should win gunfights. And as it is now, since the patch has come out, that's no longer true. The person who wins the gunfight is the person who fires first. And that's basically all it comes down to, because it's next to impossible to hit a target, especially at medium to long range, if you are suppressed. You might get a hit marker or two, but you're definitely not going to win a gunfight. And I feel like the change, the massive, massive buff that they administered to the suppression effect is yet another example of DICE rewarding campers and people who are completely stationary and do not move around the map, and punishing aggressive players who like to help their team out, who like to play the objective and stay mobile. And I feel like that's the exact opposite of what DICE should be doing to this game. Campers camp because camping is effective. That's what it comes down to. That's why camping was developed as a technique in gaming, as a quote-unquote tactic in first-person shooters. Campers engage in the act of camping because camping itself is an effective technique for getting kills, reducing deaths, and maximizing one's KDR. So, for that exact reason, we shouldn't be rewarding campers. The act of camping itself is a reward, all by itself. You don't need to buff camping because it's already advantageous to people who enjoy camping. And I know that was me throwing around the word of camping a lot, and I hope you guys were able to keep up, and I hope that made sense. But that's basically how I feel. I feel like DICE is punishing people who are trying to play Rush and Conquest the way that they were meant to be played, which is, actually going for the MCOMs, going and capturing flags. And they are giving even more advantages to people who stay in one place, keep an eagle eye out for anyone who happens to move within their effective range, and they immediately kill them because the person they're shooting at can't fight back because they're suppressed, 2 shots into the gunfight. So that's how I feel about suppression as it is right now in Battlefield 3. I know DICE has said that they took it too far and they're going to try and reel it back in a little bit. But personally, I'm no longer happy with that excuse or justification, whatever you want to call it. DICE, they keep saying they want to release patches, you know, at this very slow pace and have each patch be massive, and their justification for doing so is because they don't want to have to patch their patches. And I would be fine with that patching philosophy and schedule if the patches that they actually released were good patches. And a lot of people will say, you know, for the most part, their patches are good. And that's fine. You know, a lot of the changes that they implemented in the most recent patch were good changes. A lot of them, however, were unnecessary in a lot of people's eyes. And additionally, even worse, a lot of the changes or a lot of the things that they did introduced even more issues into this game, and that's unacceptable when it takes them 4 to 5 months to put out each patch. You can't, you know, take that long, wait that long to fix issues with your game, and then have the patch that you release not fix the issues or introduce new issues. I understand that Battlefield 3 is a huge game and it's a massive undertaking to release these patches, but especially when it comes to these balance changes and changes like suppression, iteration is key in video games. Any developer will tell you that. So taking this long in order to get fan feedback on the changes that they're working on is foolish, because you get situations like the ones that we're in right now where people are hating how quickly tanks go down, and people are hating the suppression, and so on and so forth. And I mean, there were similar and numerous issues with the previous patch as well. I mean, on PC at least, some of the Spec Ops camouflages were broken for 4 months. On consoles, on back-to-Karkin maps, the back-to-Karkin unlocks were broken for 4 months. And I just find that to be ridiculous on a game that sold 10 million copies and had a ridiculous budget and brand new engine and everything else. So I'm very cynical and very critical of Battlefield 3, I know. But I will say this, just to remind you guys, I still enjoy this game. I still enjoy this game. I still want this game to be the game that it can be. I just am, unfortunately, very doubtful that DICE will ever get it to the point it could be at in terms of balance and bug-freeness, even though that's not a word, and just the level of polish that I think this game could have gotten to. I don't think it will achieve, because DICE is just dragging their feet when it comes to getting these updates out. So let me know what you guys think about everything that I talked about today. Kind of a negative video, I know, sorry. I'm going to try and keep mixing it up, but I feel like if we don't call DICE out on their antics, then they're just going to keep doing the same crap and not fixing their game. So, very close match. Unfortunately, we did not win. We got so close, though. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.